What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy. Today we are looking at the Perfect World Major Shanghai 2024 opening stage. This is my lineup from the last RMRB for Europe, and we did pretty damn well again. Honestly, we are kind of skyrocketing up the fantasy leaderboard. Everyone did pretty well. Iceberg, not so much. Unfortunately, I chicken boosted him against Eternal Fire, where he got like over a 1.1 rating, because I thought that's probably going to be his weakest match in the tournament, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Luckily, heroic players did very well for me. Zontix did pretty damn well for me. Chopper was just fine, and that's enough for a top 4% in this one. We look at the overall standings in the fantasy leaderboard. We were down in the dumps. Now we are at a pretty respectable 580. We can still make a late push for a pretty decent rank. I don't think we're going to get into a top 10 finish, but you know, weirder things have probably happened. I'm not sure how many events there even are left this season. I'm pretty sure these major events are probably the last ones, and or at least pretty much the last ones. So probably not gonna make a push for top 10, but we can at least try and improve our rank. If you didn't see, I already posted my pick'ems where I kind of discussed what I think of each of the teams. I also gave you one hint about which team I'm definitely gonna, or one player that I'm definitely gonna include, and that is Laymath. He's the one player where I think the potential value is way too high to not include him, even if I don't go double fanatic, just because, like, look at his stats generally. Look at his stats for the RMR, 1.4 rating in 8 maps. I do think Fnatic have at least a very decent shot of making it through, even though I don't think I picked them personally for my pick'ems. And his price is 207k, which I think is very cheap for this kind of player. They are one of the lowest ranked teams in this bracket, but I mean the gaps between teams here are very low. Like, they are 29th. They're still a top 30 team in a group where there's probably some pretty low ranked teams that are gonna make it through as well. Apart from that, I haven't decided on anything really yet. I think I'm gonna edge towards Mongols. I did predict them to go 3. At least, no, I didn't actually end up putting them 3-0, but it's definitely an option in my eyes. Like, they might go 3-0. They are one of the strongest teams here, and I rate them higher than some of the other highly ranked teams. Like, I would say Mongols a better team than Furia and VP at the very least. Liquid is pretty close. And then, yeah, Complexity, Pain, these teams are not at the level of Mongols in my opinion. Also, the Mongols are playing Rare Atom first round, so I think there's a pretty decent chance of farming some points. So personally, I think it's a double Mongols angle. I'll just throw in the cheapest players for now, and then we might have to think about what I want to do apart from Mongols. I think it might not be double Fnatic. I'm not that comfortable with any of these. Like, if it was, I think Nok is decent. Like, if Fnatic do well, usually Nok should do well. I think Crims is a fine pick at 180k. I think it's very difficult to predict or to choose one other team here. At least when there's not that much budget either way. Like, whoever I pick from the Mongols, there's not that much budget. So maybe it is actually gonna be a Crims angle, and then a 5th from some team. I would say, well, let's take a look at Crims. So if we pick Crims and the two cheapest guys, we have still got like 210k. What are some of the other teams I would like to target? Like, this is where this opening stage becomes very interesting to me, because there's a ton of teams that could go 3-0, a ton of teams that could go through, and a lot of teams that you might expect to make it through might not make it through as well. There's some difficult choices to be made in this opening stage. I'm gonna ignore Cloud9 this time around. I feel like that was the RMR was the place to pick them, and I think their stats at the very least should go down a little bit here. We could pick someone more expensive from the Mongols here now. like 910 is an option. Mesinio is an option. 198. All about who I want to pick as my fifth. I do really like Payne. Payne is a team I would definitely consider as my fifth. Someone like Kawes with his high headshot percentage. I did have one team ready. That was basically my initial draft, was this. Uses all your money perfectly. You get Senzu, who is like really... Well, he's the #1 guy for the Mongols in terms of stats. Kawes as a fifth with very high headshots. This definitely makes sense, this team, I think. If I don't think of anything better than this, I think we're just going with it. Other players worth considering, I guess some like Jay, but I'm not gonna go VP, I don't think. I just don't feel comfortable going with them at all. Ooh, that bugged. Don't think I'm picking big players. I like big, but I don't know who is gonna show up on any individual day. They might be I just don't think they could make it through, but it's not... I'm not comfortable enough picking them either. I think it might be Kawes. I really rate this Payne lineup. And he's got a high headshot percentage. He's usually pretty reliable. Yeah, you know what? I think we're just going with this lineup. It's gonna be a very short video, by the way. I didn't even realize, but I mean, it's kind of in combination with the pick'ems, which makes it more acceptable length of a video, because I already discussed a lot of the teams and what I think about them in there, which would usually be a part of this video. But yeah, I do like this team here. We get the Blaymaf guy, we get Blaymaf, we get Senzu. We get a lot of players I would expect to do well for their price, I would say. I think here, headshots is obvious as a role. Again, I'm gonna do boosters with my off-screen strategy. Roles become a bit more difficult after this. I would assume support is just the best thing on Crims. Yeah, it does seem like that's the case. Senzu probably like multi-fragger, right? 34, 43, 31. Attacker is actually better in terms of stats, it seems. Seems like attacker is the best role for him. I would say we'd probably just go IGL here, unless there's something very good. IGL and like eco-friendly, apparently. Eco-friendly is just a really good role. But I think we're gonna go with leader and hope that they just go 3-0. And then Blaymaf, probably multi or CT. Eco-friendly is actually one of his best. I guess he does use those SMGs as well. Beta entry fragging. Yeah, I guess eco-friendly is actually one of the better roles for Blaymaf. He does use those and just farms the ecos, I guess. I'll just check that T-side rating isn't like a lot better or something. No. This looks pretty decent to me. Like, I know it's always there's every player here is a gamble. I don't think there's any like surefire bets. There's no like big favorites that you would expect to always go 3-0 or always make it through even. So that opens up the possibility of going for some riskier picks, and I think Blaymaf isn't even that risky, and he's extremely consistent in putting up numbers even when Fnatic don't do that well. And if they do well, then Crims might be a very good pick at that price point. And of course, Crims enables players like Senzu Techno to be in here, and the Mongols double up with expensive players. I'm pretty happy with this lineup. Let's hope that my good luck from the RMRs continues into the major as well. Either way, if you enjoy this kind of content, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.